Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is something I had no idea I would be filming at this point in the year, but I have been so excited to make this because over the past week or two, I have discovered the most amazing personal organization planning software. If you watched my recent video, I did talk about this in a poppy pause, but I have discovered Notion and I am completely obsessed. It has honestly changed my life already in the past 2 weeks. I figured we'd go ahead and do a full Notion tour and I can just explain how I'm using Notion to organize my life right now, how I'm planning to use it for 2024, and all of that jazz. So for the layout of this video, I'm going to explain what Notion even is if you hadn't heard of it, because I didn't know about it until a couple weeks ago. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about my kind of planning, organization philosophy, if you will, because I have definitely had a journey with it over the years. And I think some people who are not quite as big of planners might get overwhelmed thinking, oh my goodness, are you just trying to control your life? Like, is this crazy or whatever, trying to like plan things out and be organized? And it's not at all. It can be for sure, but my relationship with planning has totally changed over the years. And I feel like it's in a really healthy spot right now. And Notion has actually been a really big part of that recently. So super excited to get into all of that. And then I'll show you guys my actual Notion homepage and kind of how I've set it up so far and how I'm planning to tweak things and change it as we go forward. And then like annual, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily routines and rhythms, things like that, overview of the organization system and kind of how I'm planning to build it out from here. I'm planning to do a separate couple of videos about like planning for 2024, setting goals for the new year, intentions, my word for the year, all of the like high level stuff of 2024. And then I'll do another video of like kind of a vlog of resetting for the year. Put a lot of the principles I'm going to talk about today into practice with like monthly routines and resets and chores and habits and budgeting and all of those things. So we have like 3 Notion-ish videos coming up. So I hope you're super excited about them because I am, and this is going to be a new part of my channel that I'm hoping to incorporate in the new year, like monthly resets, life organization, planning, just kind of like adult life admin type stuff. Because it's honestly a big part of my life that I have never shared online before because I'm always like self-conscious that people are going to think I'm weird or crazy for having a lot of very neurotic routines and systems and ideas and things. Honestly, I know there's so many other type A girlies out there who love to plan and organize, or people who are looking for ideas. I learned so much from other YouTubers who are super into planning and organizing and all of that. So I hope this is encouraging and not stressful. The point of this video is not to stress you out or to incite comparison or anything. It's supposed to hopefully inspire you and free you and get you excited about just having more order in your life to hopefully free up space for the things that matter. That's the whole point of this, okay? But really, before we get started, a couple things to tell you. One of my favorite mugs ever of the year is this mug that I got from my friends Shelby and Haley. Thank you if you guys are watching this. It's from Anthropology, and they got Justin and I matching E and J mugs. So he has his at his apartment, and it's so cute. I have been eyeing this mug actually for years, and I just never got myself one. Friends know that I have a huge coffee mug collection, and it's borderline addiction to collecting coffee mugs. So yeah, I have not cleaned any out, and that's like my one thing I'm not cleaning out when Justin moves in because I just love them so much. And it's the one thing I collect. So don't come for me. I use them, I rotate through them. I have a coffee mug rack that's on the wall right now. So we're trying to be more organized about them and make space. But anyways, love this right now. Having my second cup of coffee, which is decaf though, because we only drink 1 cup of caffeinated coffee a day because as you can tell, I talk fast and I'm hyper and I don't need any more caffeine. So I'm wearing this really cute shacket that my friend Caitlin got for me for my birthday. I think a shacket is like a shirt jacket, but she is such a good gift giver. It's one of the things I love most about her. Like, she's so good at paying attention to the details in people's lives and remembering, oh, this person told me they liked this thing or wanted this thing months ago. And then she somehow remembers it or writes it down and will get them that thing for their birthday or Christmas or whatever. And she's just such a good gift giver and I really admire that. And I've been wearing it like almost every day the past week since I've opened it. It's super cute. It's kind of pink, gray plaid, honestly. Very much in my color scheme, if you will. I love pink, it's my favorite color. So that's been super fun. And then some other little fun things. She actually gave us these stockings too. So thank you, Caitlin. You're like in this whole little setup right here. Our E&J Anthropology stockings. I love Anthropology with my whole heart. Finally, we have some stockings up here. We got them at our bridal shower this weekend, which was super fun. And I have some goodies in Justin's stocking already. And yeah, love having those up. I feel like we've got a nice Christmassy background for our little Notion video today. All right, enough of me rambling. So what is Notion? Notion is, actually, let's look up on the website and see what Notion says that they are. Hold please. All right, according to the interwebs, Notion is a freemium, so free or premium, productivity and note-taking web application. Organizational tools, including task management, project tracking, to-do lists, bookmarking, etc. I consider it the golden ticket, the light at the end of the tunnel, the end-all be-all of personal organization, project management, team management, calendar, to-do list making, goals tracking, habit building software. It is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, and if you're wondering if you need it, the answer is yes. So go ahead and download it because it's free. I'm not even considering the premium version because I think all it has to do with is size of the files that you want to upload and import into it if you're using it for like notes taking and stuff like that, or putting in like just big files to store there, which I'm not doing so far, so I really don't have a reason for the premium version, but it's essentially the catch-all tool for digital planning. If you are someone who likes to be organized in your life, you might have a paper planner or a sheet of paper where you write out your to-do list or your calendar, the things you have to get done. You might be a digital planner kind of person, you like an Apple Calendar or Google Calendar. You might use something like Asana or Trello or Monday or all of these team management softwares. You might use a Slack, your Outlook, your Outlook, Gmail, all of these things, right? Notes apps, spreadsheets, reminders app. There are so many different applications out there for digital planning and personal organization, as well as team management. And for a very long time, I have been a diehard Google Calendar girl. I have been using it since my freshman year in college. I made the full transition from paper planning to Google Calendar, and over the years I've used a combination of Google Calendar, the Notes app on my phone, Excel spreadsheets, Google Docs, paper sticky notes on my desk, random things like this, and it's worked well over the years. I've been able to get through undergrad, nursing school, grad school, different jobs, moving apartments, different life situations using this system, if you will, for organization. But lately I've just felt very overwhelmed, and it's mostly been with wedding planning and having all these different spreadsheets of to-dos and trying to establish a good morning and evening routine and chores routines and all this stuff. And the system's worked for me, but I just don't love feeling overwhelmed. I've always been a very hyper ambitious, more highly anxious person. I am on medication and in therapy, and these things have totally changed my life. But I do live with a higher level of anxiety than most people. And so I really, really need good systems to keep my life feeling in order and clean and organized and calm, because I just get really sensitive to things feeling all over the place. And it has to do with my space being disorganized or having a million to-dos, but I don't know what to prioritize. For me, with anxiety, I can feel this very all over the place feeling, and what brings me a sense of calm is having my to-do list and my calendar in order and all those things. So I, for a long time, have always wondered, is there something out there that put everything together so I don't have to rely on a million different applications or pieces of paper or sticky notes, part digital, part paper, things like that. And y'all, I wish I had found Notion sooner, because I have felt so much more calm and at peace using it this past week than using a million different applications. Notion can be your calendar, it can be your to-do list, it can be your monthly, weekly, daily planner. You can do goal setting in there, you can take notes for school, you can upload files for work, you can assign different people different pages, so you can do team management type stuff in there as well, because you can bring other people into your Notion pages. Set goals, you can track habits, you can plan trips, you can budget in there. You can do pretty much anything that has to do with life organization, team management, personal planning, all that kind of stuff in Notion. And it's just the most amazing thing ever. So let me quickly tell you my planning philosophy, and then we'll get into the actual Notion tour. Okay, planning. We're getting our coffee back for this one. So as you guys know, if you watch my channel, I'm a Christian, and this influences everything in my life, or I try for it to, at least. And when it comes to the intersection of my faith and kind of my approach to lifestyle and organization, day-to-day adult things, I have struggled with this over the years, because I am a super type A, hyper planner kind of person, which I've already told y'all, and you can probably tell from how fast I usually talk in my videos and just how I like to keep things in order. And over the years, this definitely manifested as me trying to control things in my life. I think the term control freak can be just really harmful and not kind, and I've definitely called myself a control freak before, but I just don't think we need to be using that term. I sometimes will say, oh yeah, I have different neuroticisms, or just really like to be type A and a planner, and I often think that this gets shamed and put down as, oh, you're just trying to take away control from God, you're trying to control your life, whatever. And I don't feel like it's been affirmed as a positive thing as much in Christian spaces as I've seen it affirmed as a positive thing in secular spaces. And I wish this were different, because I think there's a big difference between shaming someone's entire personality versus calling out sin and idols, because that is absolutely important in the Christian faith. Like, we need to be calling our brothers and sisters higher in love, of course. And this has totally been an idol in my life before, trying to control and overplan and just hyper organize my life in a way to control my future, or to get a sense of control, because we actually don't have control over our futures. And so it's definitely served that role in my life before, and that's something that is really important to me to be aware of and to call out. But at the same time, I think there's a big difference between that and having a certain personality that God has given you and wired you in a certain way to be really on top of things and organized, and for your brain to work in a certain way where you really like having structure and routines and organization, and you like to plan and you're good at planning. There's nothing wrong with that. So I just want to affirm, if you're out there and you are super type A like myself, and you just get so much joy and excitement and calm from being organized and cleaning and making routines and planning things on your calendar and all of that, I feel you, I hear you. I have been this way since I was like 3 years old, and honestly a part of myself that I love. Like, I love that I'm this way, and I feel like I've taken a lot of time as an adult to figure out what is a healthy approach to these things, and how do I use the way that I'm wired in a way that's honoring to God, and not trying to control my life and just feed into my own anxiety and try to grasp at things that are not Him. I think there really is a way to be prepared and plan and be organized and all of that without trying to control your future, neglecting your prayer life or worshiping planning and things like that. There is a difference between these things. That is kind of my approach to this. Yes, that is all to say that I just hold these things in my mind when I'm thinking about planning. I really believe that when it comes to approaching planning and organization, it needs to be from a place of desiring more space and freedom in your life. Like, planning and organizing shouldn't take up space in your life. Obviously, you have to invest time into it, of course, but I think it should be something that is adding to your life and giving you freedom in other areas and allowing you to be more present and grounded with your people and in your day-to-day life than something that's distracting you or stressing you out or making you feel more anxious. So that is where Notion comes in for me. I downloaded this about 2 weeks ago, like I said, right around when I was finishing finals, and I've heard about it over the years just from different YouTubers, like every now and then. So I've heard the name before, but I've always just been overwhelmed to try out yet another planning software. And I can't remember who I was watching, because I've watched a lot of YouTubers talking about Notion the past couple weeks as I've been learning more about it and setting my own pages up. But seeing how refreshed they felt and how simplified their planning pages were, and just how easy it seemed to use and how it seemed to really work for them and not against them, and how they could design it and customize it along the way, made me so excited to try it out. So I downloaded it and I've just been editing it every few days. I spent hours the first week setting things up. So it does take a while to set up. It's definitely something that you have to kind of design yourself and make yourself as you go. But one of the things I love about it that I've been telling my friends is that it can change with you. So as you are adjusting your routines and habits, and even just how you view your weeks and plan your months and all of that, you can change the system with you. So you're not locked into a certain paper planner that's only formatted one way, or to a certain Google Calendar that's formatted one way. You can change your widgets and change your pages and change the layout and the colors and all of it. And I love that, because even though I'm such a structure routine person, I get sick of things easily, and I like to change things up and make micro changes. Even though I don't really love bigger change, that's a whole different story. But I like the creativity and the flexibility with it. Again, I am like very structured, but I also like to be creative and like make micro changes, and I get bored of certain colors and layouts and stuff. I like to be able to freshen things up. So that is all to say, Notion has been the planning software that I feel like has brought me the most freedom and excitement and peace, and honestly given me time back. And I really don't want to take this for granted, because it has given me these things so much more than Google Calendar or Notes app or Excel spreadsheets ever have. And I'm just really grateful for it. So to the Notion people out there, I would love to partner with you one day, to do a sponsored video one day. One of our big goals is to get monetized in the new year and to grow this channel and find brand deals and all of that. So I'm very grateful to Notion and already a huge fan of this product. So next part of this video is going to be the actual Notion tour, which is probably why you clicked on it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, we're gonna change the angle a little bit as I figure out how to show you my Notion. I might do some screen recordings and stuff, and I'll also just turn on the computer to show you. But yeah, prefaces with this. My pages will look different from your page. Mine are also a work in progress, so please don't judge me. I'm gonna be working on them over time. And if my system overwhelms you, just leave it. I don't want this to be something that is hurtful. I want it to be helpful. So if you are getting overwhelmed by all of my different pages and stuff, just skip ahead or click off or whatever you need to do. But anyways, my overall flow for planning and organizing is I think of my life in different dimensions. So I've kind of got this like time dimension and then these life category dimensions. So when it comes to time, I think of my life in terms of the year. So like an annual overview, quarterly or seasonally. So winter, spring, summer, fall. Think about my life monthly and monthly chunks, weekly chunks, and daily chunks. When it comes to routines and rhythms with things like budgeting or morning, evening routines, cleaning, home stuff, big goals, habits, all of that, I think of it as like yearly, seasonal, monthly, weekly, daily, and breaking things up like that. So I think of this as like a vertical dimension. This is just how my brain works. The other category, my horizontal dimension, if you think about it like this, or like x-axis, y-axis for my math people, shout out to my awesome fiance, who's a mathematician, Justin. So my horizontal dimension, if you will, is life categories or life content buckets. And so I'm looking at them right now. I'll show you in a second, I promise. I've got personal life things, my health, fun stuff, school, finances, content creation, and home. So those are, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories. And this is just how I imagine my life in my head. So under personal, I've got things like my routines, like emotional well-being, journal, rhythms, habit trackers, goals, like all kind of like self-improvement type stuff. And like, how is Emily doing, right? And you could put health under that, but for my health side of things, just because I have a lot in there, it's like spiritual health, physical health. I guess, no, I would say spiritual is more under personal. That's like more where I have like prayer journal, rhythms, routines, quiet time kind of stuff. So health is more like medical records, appointments, kind of medical health stuff, health history, medications, supplements, all of that, like appointments that I need to do, tracking like workouts, any like nutrition goals, which for me is like drinking water and like getting enough fiber, stuff like that, period tracker, all of that. That's how my brain thinks about health and like myself and all of that well-being. When it comes to fun stuff, that's like entertainment, travel, wedding planning, which is not always fun, dreaming, so just like big life goals, dreams, prayers, hopes, all of that, wish lists, so things that I would like to have, you know, like things for like birthdays, Christmas, all of that, which I have my personal wish list, and like gifts for other people, dates, date ideas, those kinds of things. Other categories for me would be school. So I'll have like my school planner, assignments, to-dos, readings, all of that. I will do my boards prep plan on here for my nurse practitioner exam, job search, resume, CV, all that kind of stuff will live in my school bucket, which is like how I conceptualize it in my mind, and then also how I'm conceptualizing it on Notion, because again, we're trying to get Notion to work with your brain, not against it. My other bucket is content creation. So for me, that is YouTube, Instagram. I'm gonna start tracking my growth on there, like subscribers, watch hours, views, all of that, because I'm trying to get monetized in the new year. The Well is a not so secret project slash business thing that I'm working on that will hopefully launch in summer or fall of next year. Stay tuned for that. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably be able to find it and kind of see what that is. Other buckets would be finances, which I'm actually going to be doing budget planning with Justin on a spreadsheet that we downloaded from Etsy that we heard about from Carter Sullivan, who is another YouTuber who I just started following, who is absolutely amazing for like monthly reset, organization, kind of stuff like this. And then the home bucket is going to be things like meal planning, grocery shopping, chores routines, like assigning chores, documents, addresses, like a kind of a contact book, passwords, important dates like birthdays, anniversaries, things like that you don't want to forget. Like imagine a filing cabinet or just like a junk drawer in your house. That's the home bucket here. So this is how I imagine my life, and then that is the corresponding buckets right here. I'm going to scroll back to the top of my Notion real quick and show you the home base. To start, on my Notion page, you just see what I call home base. Some people will have like Emily's dashboard or something like that, but I just have this little flower icon right here and flowers up top, which I'll probably change that to be like a collage of pictures. This little thing right here that just says welcome to the home base of all things in the life of Emily Ann Geddes, which is going to be my new married name. I have a guiding word for 2024, and I'm sure I'll talk about this in like a 2024 reset video and goal setting and stuff, but my word for the new year is going to be duality, and that is because I'm trying to work on holding two things at the same time. So opposites being true at the same time, being joyful and sad at the same time, joy and suffering, celebrating and also going through something hard. It's a concept that Justin and I have really walked through this year, and something that I would like to continue working on in the new year. I've got that there. I have a spot to put my verse or quote of the year that I'm going to think about and pray about, and I'll put up there as we get closer to the new year. I have a spot for a vision board right here, and so I will make that when we do a reset for 2024, but I just will upload pictures from Pinterest that kind of just encapsulate what I want this next year to feel like and what I feel like God's calling me to in this year. Visions for our marriage and for home and school and work and all of these things, and I love making those. I made one last year for the first time and it was really fun. And so as you can see with this homepage, it really goes from high level to more specific. So it's like guiding word, verse, visions, then we get into like goals, habits, specific. So we're going like more broad or vague to more specific, which is kind of what I like to do. I will then have my goals here, which are in 10 different categories, which is kind of a lot, but it works for me, so you do you. But my categories for goals are gonna be spiritual, health, relationships, that's like family, marriage, friends, heart, which is more like emotional and like kind of personal self goals, travel goals, financial, business, which to me is like social media because I'm trying to make it into a business eventually, nurse practitioner because I will be an NP in May, school, so that's like leading up to becoming an NP, which I should probably put like right here. I'll switch those around. You can see me kind of moving it. And then intellectual goals, that's like learning different skills, learning different hobbies, things like that, kind of more fun stuff. Reading certain books, things like that. Below that, I have this thing that I'm calling a bulletin board. So as you can see, I've got lots of pictures of Justin on here. I have some verses that I've been thinking about and meditating on recently. I've got pictures as well of us, just like pictures that make me smile from recent things. We've got some Thanksgiving pictures, me hitting 500 subscribers, a little fall date that we took, things like that. And then I have my little seasonal page. So we're going from, again, like that vertical dimension that I talked about. It's going from annual, seasonal, monthly, weekly, daily. So we kind of have our annual thing up top, like I showed you with the vision board spot and the goals. And I'm gonna go back in here once I have finalized my goals and put like my main goals that are in all those 10 like buckets. And then I will have separate specific quarterly and monthly goals that I will have in a different spot that I'm about to show you. So this is the seasonal page. I guess I can show you the December one as an example, maybe. Actually, I might show you January, or we can do both. But basically, I have this one that I'm working on for this month. Hope is that the Sunday before the start of a new month, it's gonna be a reset day for each month. Created little monthly pages for each month where I'll just show you January, I guess. We're gonna go in and have a separate mood board for each month. Similar to the vision board, but more specific for that month with colors and themes and just like overall vibes of that month. We're gonna pick separate words for each month as well. So with duality, I'm gonna have 2 separate words for each month. So duality, dual, 2, right? Each of those 2 words, I'm gonna have one that's more relaxing and softer and one that's a little bit more like go get 'em, gritty kind of word. So harsh, soft, I don't know, that makes sense to me, but my words for January are gonna be reset and grace. So it's kind of this idea of going after the goals, doing the things, habits, all of that, get your life together, but then also grace in doing that. I will have a verse of the month. So I have Isaiah 43:19 for January. One of my favorite verses, and I thought was a good one for January. This might look different when I do like a January reset video, so maybe I should have showed you December, but oh well. This is kind of a draft of the January one. Then I'm gonna have some specific goals on here. So I'll break down those annual goals into monthly goals, like I mentioned. It's like some example goals that I have on here that I might change, is like keep the Sabbath every week, have one no phone day once we get back from our honeymoon, stick with my Bible reading plan because Justin and I are going to try to read the Bible in a year together next year, respond to texts on time, get to places on time, cook more, read 2 books, finish New Girl Season 4 with Justin, learn to bake bread, host a game night, and hit 600 subscribers on YouTube. I think those are all very reasonable, and I'm going to tweak those a little bit so they might be different in that other video. Here I have our friend dates, solo dates, date night. So this is a place for me to remember who are the friends that I've talked about getting together with. Solo dates, Justin and I actually do 1 solo night a week where we each spend time apart and we each have that night alone, which has been really nice, and we're continuing to do that in our marriage as our plan. So I have an idea on here for a spa night. I have some date night ideas for us on here. We talked about doing a tea and reading date, which is really cute. These are his ideas. And then going to see that new rowing movie, which I think it's called Boys in the Boat, I'm pretty sure. He used to row in college, so he's super excited about it, and it actually looks really good. And routines and rhythms in here, I might be changing this, but kind of like monthly routines, rhythms. I'm gonna have monthly reflection questions because I think of rhythms in my mind as like more softer, reflective kind of stuff, and routines to me is more like, what are our monthly chores? What are our like morning and evening routines? Budgeting, kind of more of those like practical type things. Books we're gonna read, quiet time plan, all of that. And then I have a spot for favorites, which I really love. This is kind of just a fun mood board aesthetic type page for each month. I'm gonna have a spot to put my favorite color, movies, shows, things I read this month, things I'm eating, drinking, favorite type of movement, favorite product or item, like right now it's my bathrobe that Justin got me for my birthday, favorite music, podcasts, things like that. And then below, oh yeah, y'all can see this is fine. We've got our calendar that I'm actually importing from the calendar that's on my home base page. So each monthly page has the same calendar from the home base page calendar. It's just like my yearly calendar and they're all synced up. It's the same calendar, but this is on the January page. So right now I just have like our honeymoon, the days I'm in clinical class, birthdays, I'm teaching a birth class one day, things like that. Okay, so back to the home base page. Over here we've got a spot for prayers, which I like. So I've got a place for praises, like answered prayers, things we're grateful for, intercession, which is praying for other people, and petition, which is like praying for prayers for yourself. This is a random little note spot right here. So I just have like different texts I need to respond to, things I'm gonna get done next week. I think this is gonna be email legislative representative, which, or whatever, I'll know what that is. That has to do with our advocacy day thing this week for school. But I've got a spot for the weather, so I can see the weather for the next week. And I can show you guys how to do this stuff in another video, maybe like how to make Notion. This is more of just an overview of my system and stuff. I'm not really showing you how to do these things. So don't worry if you don't know how to do this. There are lots of great videos explaining how to do Notion and like how to make all of these things happen. So I made this little button where you can click it and create a new week. And then in here, I can just do the / button TO for a to-do list, and it pops up here. And I could say, oh, Monday, I need to email so-and-so and whatever. And you can make toggled lists like this. You can make to-do lists, bulleted lists. You can make buttons that jump to other things. Super, super cool. And then you can just check it off and cross it off. You can delete it, whatever you want to do. I love that so much. I've debated whether or not I want to toggle the actual days, but right now I'm not. And then I've got a little wedding countdown. These widgets are from a website called Indify, I-N-D-I-F-Y, I believe. And it was free to download and super easy to set up. I just like seeing the weather and the time and how far away from the wedding we are. So over here, I have a little to order. I have just like things I need to order from Amazon or like birthday gifts to pick up, stuff like that. Daily to-dos is recurring to-dos. So I've got morning routine, evening routine, and then daily rhythms. So like I mentioned earlier, rhythms to me are more of those softer, reflective type things, and then morning routines are more specific. So if you jump to this routine page, back to that vertical dimension I talked about, we've got annual, seasonal, monthly, weekly, daily for annual routines. I don't think I have it in here yet because I'm still figuring that out. Seasonal routines, also figuring that out. That's gonna be like chores stuff, investing, things like that. Monthly, also figuring that out. Weekly, also figuring that out. Daily, there we go. Okay, this, I've got hygiene routine. I've got beauty routine I'm still working on, evening routine, morning routine. This we are not exactly doing right now. It's gonna change when I come back from the honeymoon with clinical, so I'll do an updated one for that later. But back here, yeah, I just linked it to the daily section. So when I'm like starting my day in the morning, I can click on that and like check off the things on the morning routine. This is like for a work day. So daily rhythms is this, which I think is really cool. This is an old one. So I have started this thing where around like 8 or 9 when I start work, which for me is like school, YouTube, all of that, and just life to-dos, wedding stuff, I like to do 30 minutes of what I call maintenance work. I got this idea from Kat Schultes, who I follow on YouTube. She's awesome. And that is where you just take about 30 minutes, do all your communication stuff. So you check your texts, emails, I'll check like Instagram notifications, DMs, YouTube analytics, all of that. This line is to break up morning from evening for me. And so after I do any tasks for the day, errands, work, whatever, school, around 4 or 5 or whatever when I finish up, I try to get my inbox to 0, which doesn't always happen, but that's my little like afternoon maintenance work. Oh, also with the morning stuff, after maintenance work, I'll review my to-do list for the day, and then when it comes to the end of the workday, inbox to 0, make tomorrow's to-do list. It's like the planning phase is what I've said. And the third phase is reflective work, which I really, really like. So this is at the end of the day after I've done the maintenance and planning phases. I just made this stuff up recently, y'all. It might change. I'm gonna be filling out a habit tracker, health tracker, and heart tracker. So far I've only been doing the heart tracker, which is basically just daily journal prompts, because I love journaling, but I'm not the most consistent with it. And I've just really been loving digital planning spaces and not as much like writing stuff down. That's just where I'm at right now. But the heart tracker, I'll show you guys, I guess. So I'm 2 days behind. I need to do Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays. But if you press a new entry, you get a date, so I can put in like Wednesday's date. And then I'll put in Wednesday. I've been really good about it the past week. And then it has little questions of like what worked well today, what didn't work well today, what do you want to do differently tomorrow, and what are you grateful for about today. So I've been trying to do like 3 things in each category, just little bullet points. Like I know that on Wednesday, I woke up really early and that was helpful in making me not feel rushed in my day. So I can say, woke up early, felt unhurried, which was nice. Yeah. Okay, so then back to home base over here, evening routine, that goes back to the same daily routine page that you already saw. So I'll just check those things off, and that's just kind of a way to like start my day, end my day, and then I go into the weekly section. So this little weekly overview. Again, we can say, oh, it's a Monday, we did our little morning stuff, morning routine, maintenance work, all of that, come to the to-do list, or I can pop up to the calendar and look and think, okay, what do I have to do today? We had a financial planning meeting this morning, and we've got a grad dinner for Justin tonight. So I know that at 6:15 we have this dinner. Yeah. And I'll sometimes write it in here, like I'll be like grad dinner at 6 or whatever, and I'll bold it or something just so I remember it. So I kind of make a little daily layout and to-do list on these little colored days right here. I'm thinking about importing my Google Calendar off to the side over here and still using that for my like daily planning stuff, but then using the Notion calendar for monthly planning, and then just keeping the to-dos on these little colored sections here for the days. We'll see. I'm debating like how much to still use Google Calendar, since I technically don't need to, but I still love it and I'm like really used to it. So we'll see. For weekend, I've got Saturday right here, which is a Sabbath. Sometimes I'll have some random to-dos, like not actual to-dos, but like for example, I have a birthday party tomorrow. I want to remember to like bring a gift. So little things like that. And then Sunday, I have a spot for weekly rhythms, weekly routines. Small group reminder is just I always message our small group about small group on Monday, but I message them on, but I try to message them on Sundays. And so weekly rhythms, I am still figuring out, oh no, I have it, great. These are gonna be what I call family meetings. Justin and I are trying this out for the first time this week, where we just kind of touch base on how we're doing, like check in spiritually, individually, as a couple, marriage check-in once we're married, just like relationship, check in on our budget, finances, because I don't wanna be someone that's checking my bank account like every single day, but I wanna do it more than once a month. So checking in weekly feels good, and then like our personal goals checking in. Then doing some planning, so filling in a calendar, doing any meal planning, like making a grocery list, placing a grocery order, planning any workouts for the week, scheduling our date nights for the week, our solo nights, like I mentioned, any friend dates, appointments, double dates, all these things, just like getting on the same page about the week ahead. Grocery order, like I mentioned, making a weekly to-do list, kind of either from that monthly to-do list or what you already know is coming up for the week ahead for certain days. And then this is maintenance work for the weekend, or like weekly overview, and an update like the content growth tracker, like I mentioned, with subscribers, watch hours, all of that. Update my school planner, like see what tasks I need to get done for school for the week. And then review my content plan for Instagram and YouTube, like uploading reels, photos, YouTube videos, things like that, which hopefully will be planned out quarterly and then more specifically monthly. So hopefully you can see how my brain's working with like all these different dimensions overlapping. It makes sense to me, but that's me. So that is kind of my Notion overview. I have got lots of different pages within this. Oh, I also have this little weekly to-dos tab where I have like these miscellaneous to-dos and then recurring to-dos, which is like grocery shop, meal prep, all of that, which I think I'm gonna delete this section because that's kind of in the weekly rhythm area where we do like meal prep, grocery shop, or meal plan, grocery shop stuff. So that might go away. But yeah, I might make separate videos just because this one's getting kind of long about all these separate pages, like the travel hub, which I actually got a template from a different YouTuber and it's amazing, but I'm still setting it up, so I don't really want to show you guys yet. And I'm still like figuring out all these pages. So I'll probably make a separate one about like travel planning, school planning, all of that. But hopefully this is a helpful like overview concept so that you can kind of get some ideas for how to organize your life with Notion. So if this was helpful, let me know, comment below if you use Notion, let me know if you have any questions, things you want to see, all of that. We're excited to continue making these types of videos for you guys and just like share more organization things, because like I said, it's an area of my life that I felt like weirdly self-conscious about, but I realized I'm actually pretty good at it and have a lot to share. So I think it would be helpful for the right audience. So trying to make those like more niche videos that I know not everyone who watches my channel will like, but trying to attract the right audience. So hopefully this was helpful. No puppy paws because honestly I need to edit this and get it up, But secret emoji can be, how about the nerdy emoji? Like the face with the glasses, because this feels very nerdy, but honestly, I think it should be the cool kids. You know, the cool kids are organized. So there you go. We can do the nerd glasses emoji because I do wear glasses and I am a nerd. And yeah, I'm really tired of talking. My mouth is kind of dry. So I'm gonna go get some water and edit this video and get it up for you guys. So have a happy weekend. Merry Christmas, all the things.